Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
All right, we can go ahead and get started. I'd like to call to order the City of Dana Point Arts and Culture Commission meeting. The meeting will come to order. Maria Elena, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Absolutely.
Commissioner Banks, I should say.
Thank you. Put your heart over your hand.
Put your heart.
I'm so sorry. And let's pledge this beautiful flag in this country that really deserves our true heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Commissioner Banks. All right. Should we do roll call?
Sure. Okay, I will call roll call. Chair Small.
Here.
Vice Chair Robb.
Here.
Commissioner Jenkins.
Here.
Commissioner Schnell.
Here.
Commissioner Banks.
Here.
All members of the Arts and Culture Commission are present.
Great. Okay, item A is approval of minutes. Item 1 is Arts and Culture Commission minutes from our last meeting, October 16th, 2019. The recommended actions is the Arts and Culture Commission approve the minutes of the meeting from October 16th and receive and file.
I know part of this is on page 1, very bottom, absent Rob, and there's an extra letter in there for Elena.
It could be Maria Elena instead of Belinda.
Yeah.
Let's make the correction.
Then on item number 4 under old business, it just provided a handout, kind of, I guess it's vague. So is it okay that it's just that?
It wasn't the handout, it was the actual artwork of the artist.
And supporting materials,
yes,
or whatever. So I would like that to be.
And I think it should have his name there.
Robert.
It's the art that I got.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about? Because I missed the meeting. So okay, it's DANNENBRINK. Okay. Just so it's, I'm kind of going, got a handout.
No problem.
Yeah. Needed a little more.
okay.
Any other changes or comments? Would those go?
I make a motion to accept as modified.
I second that.
Great.
Commissioner Schnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Jenkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
I wasn't here, but I'll approve.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Vice Chair Robb.
Yeah, I wasn't here either. I approve.
Abstain. Chair Small.
Yes. Approved.
Okay, so this motion passes by a vote of 3 yeses and 2 abstentions.
Great, thank you. Item B, the public comments. Anyone wishing to address the Arts and Culture Commission during the public comment section or on an agenda item is asked to complete a request to speak form available at the door. The completed form is to be submitted to the Arts and Culture Commission Secretary prior to an individual being heard by the Arts and Culture Commission. Any person wishing to address the Arts and Culture Commission on a subject other than those scheduled on the agenda is requested to do so at this time. In order to conduct a timely meeting, there will be a 3-minute time limit per person and an overall time limit of 15 minutes for the public comments portion of the agenda. State law prohibits the Arts and Culture Commission from taking any specific action on a specific item unless it appears on the posted agenda. And then
She
maybe,
wants to speak. I see that.
and we could get her.
Just send that to
okay,
me.
and we have one request to speak, and thank you very much for joining us as well, Richard Stein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and commissioners and staff. I'm Richard Stein. I'm the president and CEO of Arts Orange County, and we are the nonprofit countywide arts council in Orange County. We are designated by the County of Orange as its official local arts agency and state local partner, although we are not funded in any way by the county or part of the county government structure. We're an independent organization. We're now in our 24th year. We provide a wide variety of services and programs, and I have a one-page handout I'd like to just distribute for more detail. You can also visit our website, artsoc.org, which is our institutional website. We also maintain the countywide arts calendar called sparkoc.com, and it has additional resources as well, such as auditions, job listings, and calls for artists, and a public art inventory in progress right now. And we are supported primarily through private philanthropy and grants from foundations, state government, as well as foundations, corporations, and memberships comprise a portion of our support. We currently have 14 cities in Orange County that are members, and among the services that we offer, and in fact next week we'll be having our one for 2020, is a roundtable for city arts coordinators, where we invite them in to share what's going on in their communities, best practices, some of the things that we're aware of happening in the field that they should be aware of. Also, we perform an important function as advocates, and we often appear at City Council and other governmental bodies to advocate for the arts, particularly in times of crisis. We did so in the city of Huntington Beach on a couple of occasions when they were considering the elimination of their Arts Commission. I do remember appearing before the city of Dana Point Arts Commission a number of years ago when something similar had arisen. And so that's something that we do. We advocate on the state and federal level as well. We have quite a number of free services that relate to arts promotions. We publish a couple of different newsletters, one that is more of an arts community newsletter, one that we publish in collaboration with Voice of OC, which is more regular arts journalism plus the week ahead in terms of arts events. And in addition to that, we do provide a number of consulting services. We have conducted cultural plans, prepared cultural plans for a number of cities such as Irvine and Mission Viejo, Newport Beach, and we have just completed one for the city of Costa Mesa. We're presenting to their city council in about 10 days. We've done them for the city of Temecula, and we're right now in the midst of doing one for the city of Moore Park. We also manage public art projects. We manage the 14-acre sculpture park for the city of Newport Beach in their Civic Center Park. And we've been the manager of that project since its inception 7 years ago. We also manage permanent public art projects, such as the installation of a work of public art for the city of Santa Ana, for the Orange County Fair, and right now we're in the middle of one for Jamboree Housing Corporation, the nonprofit developer of affordable housing for their Santa Ana Veterans Village. So we have, I won't go through the whole list, but we have many, many services and programs that we offer, and we invite you to take advantage of them. As I said, most of them are free and available to the entire arts community, and that is supported through the fundraising that we do and the grants that we write, but as well through membership. So I'm happy to answer any questions, of course.
Yeah, well, that's great. Thank you very much for your time and for introducing, as one of the items later on in new business, we're going to be discussing, membership in Arts OC. So this is very timely,
wonderful.
and thank you very much for the opportunity to get to know, to introduce you to the other commissioners, as well as get a kind of a larger picture of what else Arts OC does for the arts community.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, and I've had the pleasure of knowing a couple of your commissioners for a very long time as well, Nancy Jenkins and Karen Schnell. So,
I have one of your forms.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
So good luck with your meeting this
Appreciate
evening.
it. Thank you.
I have another request to speak. Kristen Olofsky, pardon me if I mispronounced that, from Kid Create Studio.
Thank you, and you pronounced it perfectly.
Oh,
It's
great.
exactly right. And I am so sorry to be late and got a little bit lost on the way, and I'm sorry that I disrupted. But thank you for letting me say a couple of words. I am here to tell you about very little something that we're going to be doing, hopefully to enhance the arts community in Dana Point, which is that I'm opening a children's arts studio here. And it's for children from 18 months to 12 years old, and we're going to be on Pacific Coast Highway, opening in February. And I wanted to take just a couple minutes to tell you a little bit about it. I'm really super excited to be part of the community, and it's important to me that it not just be a business, but it also be part of the community. So what Kid Create is it's classes, camps, and art-themed birthday parties for children. The curriculum was developed by art professionals, and it does everything from fast-moving toddler classes all the way up to some more fine arts education for some of the older children. And it's a concept that was developed by a woman in Minnesota, and I'm the first to open a location in California. And so I've been working with her for quite some time, and the reason I wanted to do this is because I'm really passionate about quality education for kids, and I have 3 children of my own, and I've worked in education for a number of years. And it's I think it's a real shame how little art education there is for small children, and I think it's an opportunity for them to do more than just learn art. If I kind of look at my own kids, part of the reason why it resonated with me is I have one child who was very meticulous and a perfectionist, and he draws beautifully, and he still does. And he could draw from the time he was very small, and he was very patient to do it. And when he took art classes, that was kind of the way he approached it. He approached it as a methodical exercise, and that's still how he does things. And then I have another child who is a firecracker, and she is just much happier kicking a soccer ball than she is doing anything with a small instrument in her hand. But she also really benefited when she had art classes, because I gave all my children art classes, I gave them all music classes, I introduced all of them to theater. And she benefited in a different way because it made her realize that when she was lost in something, she could sit still. Just about the time her teachers were telling her that she couldn't sit still and that she needed to focus. And when she was taking art and doing art activities, she didn't feel like she was working, and she didn't feel like it was school. And she never did pursue anything artistic. She still likes to kick a soccer ball. She's 16 now, and that's what she does. But she looks really fondly back on those things. And so when I was looking at a business to start, that was kind of the approach that I wanted. And the Kid Create concept is very much like that. It's super accessible. It's not fine arts lessons for everyone. There's making slime, and there's covering clay with glitter, and there's just some general mess making activities that take place. And then there's also learn to draw and elements of art and color theory, and it's all kind of blended in a really accessible way. A lot of pop culture references, a lot of making Baby Yoda out of clay and things like that. So I wanted you to know about it, and I want to take the opportunity to invite you to let us be part of the community. I'm more than happy to participate in community events. I'm more than happy to do children's booths at the things that you might want to have children's booths for. I want it to be more than just a business in the community, and it's part of why I picked Dana Point, and it's part of why I picked the spot I did on Pacific Coast Highway. We're in the row, right by Stack's Pancakes, and it was important to me not to be out in the plaza somewhere, but to really be part of a community. So I hope that you'll let us do that, and you're free to contact me anytime. Most all the time I'll say yes. If you need a booth and some teachers, they're very portable. We already have some classes that are going to be on schedule at the Parks and Rec for the spring session, so I'm hoping that those
that's
go.
awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we're going to
Quite a
also
few.
be offering summer classes in there as well. So.
Are you
Really?
do drop-ins?
Yeah, I just,
So yeah, we do
Drop-ins,
drop
like if
ins.
I have my grandkids for the weekend, can they drop in?
Absolutely. So there are weekly classes, but there's also workshops where they're either 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours long. And actually, Grandparent Me is one of the things that I think is going to be really great for this community, because I think, particularly in the summertime, we have a lot of kids June blue and need something to do.
Great. Well, thank you very much for taking
Thank
the
you
time
for
to
having
introduce
me.
yourself, and best of luck. We're
I
very happy to
appreciate
have you in the community.
Thank you. And good luck with your meeting as well.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to item C, old business.
item 2.
Item 2. Update on the traffic control utility boxes ART program. The recommended action that the Arts and Culture Commission recommended moving the program forward to City Council for review and consideration.
I have a staff report.
Did you get yours?
Is it only one page?
How many
Draft?
packets do we get?
Oh,
How many
there's
packets?
two, there's
There are two.
There's this
Okay, we need
one.
another one of these.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
never mind, we got it.
okay,
Got it.
okay.
So
Good evening, Arts Commission, and Chair Small. I'm providing an update on the utility box program tonight. You have two handouts in front of you. One that I will start with that has the background where we discussed this at the last commission meeting. We talked about gathering dimensions and gathering some quotes for custom vinyl wraps. I have not gotten any of those items back, but that's okay. We're gonna still charge forward. I want to review quickly the utility box locations that are available for artwork. We did get some updates from Public Works on some grant funds that they're getting to rehabilitate several boxes. So while we are definitely trying to make an effort to get utility boxes in each district, you will notice that if you go down to the discussion where we are looking at the utility boxes by district, you will see some that have asterisks next to them. Those are boxes we had originally anticipated being able to provide artwork on, yet those are also on the rehabilitation schedule. So we really have 9 boxes that are a part of this first pilot of this program. So I want to bring that to your attention. In addition, one of the boxes that will not be a part of this program, but I wanted to point out maybe a potential designation for a Dana Hills art class, since the box is located right outside the high school. But this box, based on the rehabilitation schedule, will be moved to phase 2 of the program. Unfortunately, phase 2 of the program probably won't be until 2022, but I do not think that that should preclude us from getting started on these 9 boxes right away.
Sure.
So, what I'm proposing is to take a staff report to City Council on the 21st that will recommend the program. We'll go through the locations, the process, the funding. We will have an online web page that will have a PDF of the application that I've just handed around that's in draft form. It will also have pictures of each box that's available for art with the dimensions. We'll also be, creating flyer, public relations. All this will happen rather quickly should the council decide to move forward on the program on the 21st. I will be asking for full funding of the program, which is estimated at about $1,000 a box. That does not include paying the artist, but does include the manufacture of a vinyl wrap and the installation of those wraps on the boxes. The process by which people could apply is electronically, where the emails would come to myself, and then we would plan to have that open from February 1st through the end of February. plan to package up those applications and distribute them to the commission with scoring sheets. Then receive those applications back from the commission, tally the scores, and put together an item for you of the top scores, then for your discussion at the commission meeting in March. It's an aggressive timeline, but I think it would be nice to get it done. Also, as a part of this recommendation, I'm asking that we probably move the scheduled March 11th meeting out toward the end of March to March 25th to allow time to distribute the application, to package the applications, distribute them to the commission for scoring, get those returned, and get it on an agenda to move forward. Once those applications have been reviewed and selected by the commission, I'm going to be asking the city council to give the commission the authority to make the choices and not return to the council. We would go and do contracts with the artists in April and hopefully have the boxes wrapped by summer.
That's wonderful. Are there any questions?
I do.
Sure, Commissioner Banks.
You said that the $1,000 didn't include the fees for the artists. Do we need to do that? Like Laguna Beach, what they do is they have people actually submit their drawings and their artwork, and then they're the ones that get put up in different stations all through the city. Could that be like a incentive for them to do something, and maybe have one, how do you call it, like a reward, or whoever wins the best or something like that, and give them something? What were you thinking of paying them?
This
If that.
this was envisioned as a opportunity for someone to showcase their art for a long period of time in highly visible intersections. So artist fees were not contemplated, but that's certainly of the prerogative of the commission.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too when you said.
In Costa Mesa, with their current one and their wraps, the artist is not paid. And however, they get their artwork on a prominent sort of utility box. If I'm not mistaken, the city of San Clemente, they're painted, but they were given money for the materials. Mm-hmm. And that's what have you done any, Tom?
Well, in Santa Ana,
yes,
we gave money for the materials.
Yes.
We did not pay the artists, and we had plenty of good submissions. We also have specified in the application that there's a 3-inch by 5-inch space on one of the panels where the artists can obviously put their name. And
free advertising.
That's nice. That's nice.
Just a quick question for my clarification. When you went through it very quickly, and that you're going to send out to the artists as soon as possible the list of the dimensions. So we have to go ahead and measure. Do you want to give us a due date?
I have someone right now that I have sent out to measure and take pictures of the boxes.
Okay.
So that's handled.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That answers one question. And then the second question,
I think mine only are you said something about the asterisks?
Oh, are the boxes that I think we originally were anticipating as a part of the program, but they are scheduled for rehabilitation. So they would move to phase 2.
Okay.
In 2022.
Yes. Yeah. That's when they're scheduled to be, at this point, based on grant funds, replaced in the first or second quarter of 2022. So I would anticipate that we could run a program in tandem, or as close in tandem to those replacements, to then get art on them immediately.
How
Yes,
long?
Commissioner Banks.
Thank you. How long do they stay fresh?
We have gotten varying opinions on that, but it really depends on environmental factors of where the box is. We're hoping 4 years.
Okay. So in
it
2
could be
years.
longer if a box is in a very sunny, or
Ocean's
it
hitting
could be less, but
Okay, yeah, I was thinking, so if we're gonna keep it up, then by 2022, when we get those going, we can start on the 2024. It sounds like the Golden Gate Bridge, you know, you start painting one end, and by the time you're done,
Their color quality from the ones I've seen on vinyl stays a lot
it?
stronger
Okay, okay.
than the paint seems to fade a lot more.
Yeah, because you don't want to see these
No.
things, shabby
No.
things, just.
Commissioner Jenkins?
Since you put them into districts, I would strongly recommend that when you present this to the city council, that you include that, because some of the districts don't have any option, and I would hate for that person, that representative to ask why.
The plan is that the Arts Commission made every
Okay.
best effort to consider boxes in all districts, but based on the rehabilitation schedule.
So the ones I measured are not here.
Your temper tantrum outside.
Okay, the ones I measured aren't on here.
Are there any other questions or comments?
No, I was just gonna make a motion that,
Yeah, yes, and that's a great idea. Prior to the motion, thank you very much for all the work and as you mentioned, the aggressive timeline. That's very much appreciated, and I'd like to hear from Commissioner Robb.
okay, I'd like to make a motion that the Arts and Culture Commission recommend moving this program forward to the city council for review and consideration.
A second.
Commissioner Schnell?
Oh, and include, and to move the meeting from March 11th,
To March 25th.
25th.
Second, yes. Give us a little more time.
Commissioner Schnell?
Yes.
Commissioner Jenkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Vice Chair Robb?
Yes.
And Chair Small?
Yes.
So by consensus, this motion passes 5-0.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, that brings us to item 3, art in the community center and the city council foyer. Also update from the staff.
The new art is hung in the city council foyer with the place cards. We are just waiting to get our form back from Robert, but we are in good shape.
Oh, so do you know when they were sent out?
The form?
Yes.
Just after the break, after we came back from Christmas break. So
January 2nd.
Yeah.
It's my birthday.
Okay,
it
so
moved.
it's already
It
hung?
moved a little slower, but it's hung now, and we are
Okay,
in good
because
shape.
they've been wanting to know, so I'll tell them.
Yes. And that just happened this week. So
Okay, so it's in the foyer.
yes.
Oh, great.
Could we possibly go look at it if we're interested afterwards?
Sure. I can open the door for you, I think.
And we'll
Question,
peek through the window.
did you have the information to get a hold of the past artist? To give him back his work?
I will look into that. I had a staff member help me with this project.
If so, just, actually, I'll just write it down.
Okay. All right, we'll proceed to item 4 then, art inclusion in the park master plan.
Can we finish on number 3 on the community center?
Oh, yes, I beg
Yeah.
your pardon.
I don't have an update on the community center. I am sorry.
I'm the one who's been the liaison for the community center. And we had a discussion last time, was that they have some permanent artwork there, and I wasn't too sure. But since then, we found out that one side is the permanent artwork and the other is going to be for the schools.
Okay.
And so, since I've worked in the past with the community center, I thought I would go, if it's agreeable with all of you, I would go to Sherry Murphy and ask, since it's in their home, you know, because when Kevin Evans was there, one time we had the special needs school at our RH Dana, and we had their display. And then another time we had the high school, and we've had various schools. And then also I could ask for how long they might like an exhibit to be up. So we could put it on a regular schedule so we can know when to let the schools know ahead of time. I'm sure this will be all done way before the March 25th meeting. So would you all, if a display goes up, should I just wait till the March 25th and tell you? Or can I send you an update that you could let everybody know? Thank you, that's all I want to know.
Thank you for that update as well, Commissioner Jenkins. Now we'll go ahead and move to item 4, on inclusion of the park master plan and the review of the report.
I have a PowerPoint presentation. You also have this in front of you. I think you guys spent a lot of time on this, so this can be a quick review, just to double check. This is
Somehow I've lost
reflective.
the connection.
Oh. Okay. Just to make sure this accurately reflects the work that you completed last year, and that the priority 1 project is the tile project potentially for the stairs at Lantern Bay Park. So I'm going to go through these rather quickly, and just please interrupt me if you see something that is not correct. So Lantern Bay Park, priority number 1. And this is the potential for the tile work on the front parts of the steps leading up the hill, with some additional considerations for maybe art, statues, possible symbols for the park, that sort of thing. There are some examples of tile work on the next page, just as a reference. Sea Terrace Park is priority number 2, and there would be maybe a piece along PCH or smaller pieces along the walkway near the PCH tunnel. Pines Park, priority number 3, potential for a large piece in the areas marked with stars, which I see 2. Heritage Park, priority number 4, that would maybe be tabletop pieces like Doris Walker. Sailboat with 3 dolphins or more visible side, small historical statues, okay. Sea Canyon Park, priority 5. This could be tree sweaters, small statues of children participating in different sports.
I like those.
Which slide are we on?
We are, we're at Sunset Park.
Is that after Sea Terrace?
Yes.
And after Sea Canyon.
Yeah. Okay. Sunset Park, priority 6. Due to the size of the park, the scale of any art piece could be a larger piece. Potential to add larger, more modern, interactive movement where kids might play. Del Obispo Community Center, priority 7. This would be bike art holders like those at Strands. Nature Interpretive Center, priority 8. Size and scale of the piece, 6 feet long by 3 feet high. Location of the piece, I think that should be next to bike racks. Or ADA parking. Dana Crest Park, priority number 9. Themes may include kids at play, walking, dogs, hide and seek. La Plaza Park, priority 10. This would be perhaps a place series of mosaics and or stonework on the amphitheater poles, make it look like Rome. Location of the piece, gazebo covering stage area, architectural design on fence that can be seen from both sides, possible structure amongst the palm trees that could be seen from PCH. This park does already have an art piece, and maybe some themes relating to the clock tower. Thunderbird Park, priority 11. Possible theme of children or children at play, possibly a mosaic. Location would be in an area not currently used for recreation, potentially next to the parking lot. Existing retaining wall is also a potential site for a mural. Calle Paloma Parket, priority 12. Scale would be small to medium, potential for statues on each side of the entrances to the park. Possible theme could include a variety of dogs. Paloma means peace, which could be a theme for the park. The Chloe Luke Overlook. Priority 13. Giant colorful vases along the property wall. Telescope. Diving seagull suspended above rail corner. Small vertical piece on the left side. And at the end of the planter made of steel. Nautical theme. Sycamore Creek Trail. Priority 14. So this one, it says the art wouldn't have anything to do because it's a travel way for bikes and pedestrians, could be a potential for graffiti. So there's not really a significant recommendation on that one. Shipwreck Park, priority 15. Location of a piece could be by a drinking fountain. Possible themes are nautical, captain's wheels, nautical flags. Seaview Park, priority 16. There's a dirt area at the bottom of the park. A larger scale piece that could be seen from PCH and Del Obispo. Nothing seen in this area since it's active recreation. Could add a real telescope along the sloping path. Lantern Village, priority 17. The tile work, like on the wall at the corner entrance, size small to medium. Possible location includes the Dana of the Rose Garden. Possible themes include having tiles that match stucco walls and caps that are story tiles of the area. Dana Woods Park, priority 18. Possible addition of artistic benches that could have different themes of nature. Tiles of wood carvings on the bridges. Creekside Park, priority 19. Size and scale of the piece, small pieces. Location of the piece, if kids, then near the playground. If dogs, then near the dog fun zone. Kids and dogs are possible themes. And Harry Ostubo, did I say that right? Otsubo Community Gardens, priority 20. Maybe a statue of Harry. Size could be around 5 by 10. So does this accurately reflect the work that you completed?
It does.
So the next steps for this is I am going to get with our General Service Director, Robert Sedita, who oversees the maintenance of the parks. And given that the tile steps is, I think, the priority project that is number 1 on this list, we will start looking at the potential of when and where funding could come from to complete that type of project. There may be funds available that are outside of the Arts and Public Places funds that could be tapped for a project like this. And so we will start those discussions. I can't guarantee what the timing would be, but the next step, once that has sort of a green light that it fits in with the maintenance schedule of the park and the potential funding source could be identified, we would then return to the commission for a path forward on a selection of artists, themes, that kind of work.
So,
Yes,
Yeah,
Commissioner Ray.
we haven't chosen any artwork yet?
Right.
Or,
Correct.
No,
okay.
that would come back to the commission for
Well,
consideration
some of those already.
of artists
Those are
and
old.
themes.
Old ones?
These
Yeah, those are
are the
examples.
16th
Examples.
Street in San Francisco.
It's just to give an example.
Oh,
since
okay.
So
that's
we
the-
have an idea.
I like it. Whatever they pick. It's gonna look cool.
One of the things that's interesting is the steps aren't as
Deep.
Deep.
as that. So
So thank you very much.
Can I
Thank
have a
you.
comment?
Yes.
My comment about the entire thing, spending all this time, this particular stair project serves, more people see that, I would believe, than any park in the city of Dana Point.
Right.
I call it the four corners. You can't miss them, especially now, they're so ugly. So, I mean, I just had to comment on that. It's just a magnificent idea.
Do we have, excuse me, can I
Yes.
speak? Do we have a choice on what goes first, or does the city council have anything to say? I mean,
I'm sorry, what do you mean by what
so
goes
let's
first?
say we have all these to do, right?
Yeah,
can
the priority
Priority is number
one
one,
is
is the
that- yeah,
stairs.
that's the
Okay,
work
just
that
wanna
we've
make
done,
sure.
that we've done, over the last year.
I
to 2
know,
years.
that's why
So-
I'm going, let's go for it.
Yeah, so that's
So-
that's what's being brought to in exploration with staff and.
Yes, so for me, I wanted to get this all in one document, finalize that this is reflective of the work that you completed, that this is correct. And then I will work with the staff to see how we can maybe move, especially since I unanimously hear that this stair project is important to the commission,
Yeah.
how that we could work to move that project forward.
Right, and then just some additional commentary to Commissioner Rob's points. You know, obviously with the high traffic and the way that it's used by the by the runners and at that corner, I just love the point that to have something so beautiful that's reaching out from the city limit, the end of the boundary of the city limit, to the harbor, which will obviously be revitalized and beautiful as well. And of course, with the with the state park being right there in that vicinity as well, I think that that's just a beautiful way to welcome all municipalities and all visitors to each of those, to the beauty and the artistic priority, of Dana Point. So I look forward to discussing the themes and those when it's appropriate. Thank you very much for compiling all that.
So, quick question. I know when we initially did this and worked on it, was it gonna be submitted as part of the Parks Master Plan?
It is going to be integrated into the Parks Master Plan is the idea.
That's a top one.
Right, so we don't need any additional direction. We don't need to provide any additional direction or
Not at
comments
this time.
on that. Thank you very much. Okay, that brings us to new business. Reorganization of the Arts and Culture Commission to the chair-elect and vice chair-elect. For me, it's certainly been an honor and a privilege to be the chairperson. I had a great example with the previous chair people, and from the very beginning to be a part of the Arts and Culture Commission and learn from the other commissioners who have for years and years supported and encouraged artists in the community. It was it's a thrill to be a part of this commission, and it was an honor to get to be the chairperson. So in moving forward with the reorganization, can we ask for
I would like to
yes, Commissioner. Yes, please.
Nominate our vice chair, Rob, for chair-elect.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Schnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Jenkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Vice Chair Robb.
No, yes.
Question mark.
Chair Small.
Yes.
Okay, so that motion passes. I'm sorry, for chair?
Yes.
For chair, sorry. For Chair Robb. 5-0.
Great.
Congrats.
Wow.
And when will I hand over the gavel?
You can do it now.
At this time?
Mhm.
May
You
I
can
do
do it.
that?
You-
And then she
you
can
may
lead
do
for the
that.
vice chair?
Exactly.
Well, it's my pleasure to do so. Can I,
Yes.
is it okay
You
if
can
we,
switch
if we, if we stand up here for a second? After the meeting, then I would love
Yeah.
would you like to change seats?
It's warm.
It's very warm. I am going to certainly hand you that gavel, and I look forward to the photo opportunity after the meeting. Thank you very much, and we'll.
I'll make
Move to the next
comment
item.
after the meeting, and commissioner comments about the chair. We can move forward if that's agreeable to everybody.
Mhm.
So now we are going to elect our vice chair. Do we have nominations for that
I would
position?
like to nominate Commissioner Jenkins.
And I would like to second it, if I can do that.
Okay, Commissioner Schnell,
Yes.
Commissioner Jenkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Chair Robb,
Yes.
Commissioner Small.
Yes.
So by consensus, 5-0, Commissioner Jenkins is now the vice chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You want to change seats with me? No.
It's warm.
Now, if Dink were here, that would have been priceless.
Moving forward on item 6 is the village beautification. I believe we're going to receive that report from Kelly.
Yes. Thank you,
Good.
Chair Rob.
This is nice.
I am going
Great.
to introduce Principal Planner with the City of Dana Point, Belinda Dinas. And she has been the lead city staff person that has been working in the Doheny Village area on the rezoning and on several other projects with the community. And we have several beautification members here from the village that Belinda will introduce.
Thank you, Kelly. Good evening, Chair Rob and the Arts Commission. My name is Belinda Dinas, and I'm happy to be here. I'm so grateful to have the support and joined by members of our Doheny Village Merchants Association, our most active community members, and they're also members of our Village Beautification Committee. So Village Beautification Committee for the Doheny Village area of Capistrano Beach was formed after we had done extensive community outreach over 2+ years, I would say. Mostly focused on the zoning and land uses and development standards for the village specifically, but we also found an opportunity to tap into short-term enhancements that we could do right away. And so that is the primary focus of the Beautification Committee. That includes public art, landscaping, signage, all of those things that we don't need a zoning change for, right? And so we're hoping to get the support of the Arts Commission, the City Council, to move forward with some of the projects that the group has prioritized and come up with. And so with that, I'd like to introduce you to Richard Law. He's a longtime property owner on Sepulveda, also a longtime land planner, has brought so much knowledge and resources to our group. We also have Bob Shade, who's a longtime property owner, grew up in Capistrano Beach. He also owns the property that we would like to focus on tonight, which is the post office building on the corner of Doheny Park Road and Las Vegas. And so what we're proposing tonight is to focus in on our first project, which is a mural that we'd like to kick off. Tom Clark, who is a local artist with a studio down in the village, he's also here to provide us with some conceptual renderings of what that looks like. So I will go ahead and turn it to you guys.
Do you have that plan by any chance? That
I do.
we did a plan. One of the things that happened in our village, and Tom was involved in it, and Larry Robinson, they redid a building in the kind of a back area that they did murals on, and they repainted it and made it into a public use space that's had a grand opening not too long ago, and it's a fantastic transformation, and it really impressed us as how much impact that had. There was murals on the building, and they did some painting work and all, and it was done relatively cheaply and very quickly, and it just transformed the area totally. So we undertook a look at the village to see if we could use that as a kind of an example of how to have a high impact without having to build a whole lot of stuff. And we looked around the village, and we found that there were a number of potential places for art in public places. A lot of them mural art on buildings that are existing buildings there. So we thought about having an art program in the village, and everybody really liked the idea. And so we identified a whole lot of these buildings, and it turns out that there's some really good opportunities there for that kind of public art. And the highest priority location happens to be Bob Shade's post office building, and the one across the street, which is his uncle Leo Shade's building. And they both have like a gateway kind of event as you come into the village from either Doheny Park Road or right off the freeway, because they're right at that same intersection, and they're very, very visible buildings. So we said those are our priorities, and the first priority is really Bob's building. That would be number one. And so Tom did a number of studies for not just those, but other public art things, but focusing more on those buildings. Maybe, Tom, I'll turn it over to you.
So, yeah, once we kind of focused on what was the primary spot, if you know the area, there's the whole Makers area, which is behind Bob's building. And there's a lot of, since I've worked in the area for about 25 years, my studio, which is in Richard's building up in front. And I've really I have a kind of a heart for the community as far as that whole area tends to be a lot of people that work and live, but primarily work in that area. So let's focus on that. And so I conceived of a concept of it, the Makers. So basically, I can just throw these your way. These are just a couple options. We're just kind of filling it out. If there's not enough, there should be. Maybe?
You guys are okay? Yeah,
we got it.
So that's a general idea of the building. I did a couple concepts. It's just kind of a work in progress, but the idea was to kind of pay homage to the town and the people who have helped create it as far as, working. And so I did a little play off of movers and shakers. So it's kind of molders and shapers because you have the guys who are the metal guys and wood, and then the surfboard industry that's back there where Hobie started and all that kind of stuff. So just kind of a fun little play on that. And then if you want to look further, I've got just kind of ideas on how to tie things in where Richard has signified certain areas of the town that seem to be little highlights. And as you go through the town, there's a lot of areas that are either undeveloped or there's a wall that just is waiting for something color. So we've kind of discussed all that and come up with a few ideas. I don't know if you want me to show those as well or not, if that's not the priority yet.
So I just wanted to touch base because the mural on Bob's building is really our priority.
Yeah.
And so the discussion that I wanted to have with the Arts Commission was to propose the idea of partnering with Dana Point Coastal Arts to be kind of our vehicle to so that the city can take funding from the
you mentioned to them about the pot of money that is a separate
right. So take funding from the Doheny Village. What are we calling that? Community improvement.
Yeah, I would say it's like a community improvement fund.
So backtracking a little bit, the development impact fees from Lantern District. So all of the construction that's going on in Town Center has development fees associated with that. Last year, the City Council allowed for that pot of money to be dedicated towards Doheny Village specifically. So that money will be in part the capital improvements to the village as well as potential projects such as these. So as a component of that, we're proposing that the city donate funding through Dana Point Coastal Arts, and that the nonprofit will essentially coordinate with the artists who does the work. And we would like to continue this, not just for this project, but also for other projects citywide as well.
One of the things that's come up through the meetings of the beautification committee is there is a strong desire by this group to also couple fundraising efforts in the village to provide some additional funds for those projects. So in addition to which we call DIFs, development impact fees, that have been dedicated to the village to assist with these types of improvements and others, the group is very motivated to privately fundraise as well. And Dana Point Coastal Arts is a nonprofit vehicle which can be leveraged for that purpose, so that people can make donations and have a tax benefit by doing so. So this item tonight's really somewhat informational. The group has been is a part of just the moving forward of the different actions down in Doheny in the village. They have been pretty active at city council meetings and really been a vocal proponent of forward progress down there. So this is kind of an informational item tonight, based on that this group has honed in on some priorities. We wanted to update the commission and get any feedback that they had, and really try to make those connections with Dana Point Coastal Art.
I love your guys' proposals and everything, and I hadn't realized how busy you guys have been until I did attend the board meeting that you did, what, a month or so ago. And I'm really excited. I'm a little confused on the, okay. So, there is an Art in Public Places Fund of which developers.
That's a different fund. This is a fund of development impact fees from the town center. It is a completely separate pot of money that the city council has dedicated for the village.
Development impact
fees. They're called DIFs. For short. DIFs. They're very common in a lot of communities. But they also can also be applied to things like infrastructure, landscaping, curb and gutter, sidewalk improvements, those kinds of improvements as well.
Because they still are responsible for the Art in Public Places.
Any large
fund.
development
Yes.
that would come through would still pay into that fund or provide the artwork
Or
on site.
provide the artwork.
This is a separate.
Okay,
separate.
that was my
I know, I
only
was
thing,
gonna
because you know
say,
you
doesn't
hear
take away from our
you
budget.
hear all these. I love that. DIF.
Yeah.
Okay, development impact fees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
And so the fact that those fees could be used for any sort of infrastructure, but they wish to use it for art in their beautification plan aligns,
Now I feel better.
greatly with the direction that we're
That
going.
was our question.
Okay, because I was just going, whoa, wait a minute, time out. I know, I mean, the great part now is Tom and I worked on a project, a national project, to try to get additional funding for similar projects such as this down in Doheny Village. And with this sort of partnership, we can build, it just strengthens all of our case. When you can say, we've got this, we've got this, we've got that, we have all of these different community groups coming together to build it.
Right.
You're excited to listen.
No,
We're having the same
I
thoughts.
am.
Yeah.
And first off, you guys are really come together really well.
It's a great
What?
project.
These guys more so. I came in later, but the property owners. That's what's so nice is they're all together and there's such a cohesiveness.
Started out as an angry mom.
No, and I agree, because I attended a couple of those, and it was kind of like, okay, what table should I sit at?
Right.
I don't want to be there, and then one guy would kind of move over. Remember those? Woo. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
No,
it
not in the
wasn't
beginning,
fun.
but it really came together, and the city staff was great, has been great.
So my question is, so this is primarily in the village, you have the what I should call the outskirts, the suburbs of the village, you have these people, they're all involved as well. Because
Well, they're-
Predominantly is the village.
They're not as directly involved.
but they're on board. But
following,
they're
yeah.
on board. Okay. Good. Great project. Do you have any other presentations? that you
Well,
wanted
we
to
have
make at
we
this
have a
time?
whole lot of stuff, but I,
They'll come back.
Yeah, I don't
But
wanna
I think
overwhelm.
Right.
the action.
What's the size of this, Tom?
That one is approximately, what, 80 feet, I want to say?
By about 10 or 12? So what's the height of that?
Probably 12.
12, yeah.
Wow.
That's the side
that
of
is-
where that's the side of the building. Next time you
Yeah.
drive down Las Vegas, the side of the building where Jim's and Loans is on.
Okay,
where the
it's
post
on
office
that
connects.
Yeah, so it's
side.
on the
wall.
side of the
Okay.
post
Yeah.
office.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you're right, a great viewpoint
Right.
coming
yeah, it's an
in.
excellent view
I'd
coming
be
into the
driving
village.
past it every
Yeah.
day.
Right.
Lot of
So
traffic
but I
going
could
through there.
tell that it was
Yeah.
a long spot.
On Tom's drawing there, you'll see the window in the front. There's an
Oh,
actual
yeah.
window there. So
Yeah.
when next time you drive down there, you can take a look.
There's
Okay.
also 3 trees, but
Yeah.
they'll grow, I think.
Yeah.
But they're fairly sparse.
Okay.
But the reason I was saying on this is just that it's all part of a master plan. We're not just doing little chunks of things, and I don't have to be a part of every art project. I'm just kind of given just a little idea of like, hey, here's what we can do in this town to really make it beautiful.
Well, I think
know.
it makes loads of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
down there
Yeah.
and part of
Yeah,
the community
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
know your work.
yeah, yeah.
I know it's different than the rest of Dana Point, which is great. I mean, it's a very unique
Yeah,
idea, and if we can get this program going, I think it can make a huge impact on that area.
I think for all even the businesses and restaurants that it'll make the area a little more desirable for
Yeah.
people to come through, because sometimes it's just a way to get through to somewhere else. Just because nothing's been, it's just over the years probably just ideas, buildings are come up for sale and then things, and there's not a plan. And so I think that's the idea is to kind of get a little more cohesiveness.
It's difficult when you have big buildings like Costco, and it's very
Right.
extreme to keep it a village.
Yes.
All that
Right.
going on.
So the idea is to get the scale down and also to have wayfinding signs so it's kind of walkable. So and the city's already doing things to make it more pedestrian friendly.
Well, the trail connections are really important
Yeah.
too. That's another part of it that
Yeah,
doesn't work very well right now, but there's a
Yeah.
real potential to improve that.
yeah,
And working on the extended or the what is it, the timeshares or whatever they are
the
there, trying to
connectivity.
bring them, connectivity, then bringing more tourism into the village.
yeah.
Well, it sounds wonderful, and I think we have a mover and shaker that's going to be a great asset with you guys. And her name, I've only known her 2 days. I met her the other day, and I met her with her tonight.
I
Kelly.
think it would be great if you guys wanted to make a motion that you're supportive of the beautification committee's efforts on their initial project to create murals.
And if they ever want to do a little walking tour with us, and we can talk about some of the ideas. I mean, it'd be fun.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
that's what we did. We all just kind of walked the neighborhood and go.
Fun.
Yeah, I'd like to make that motion that that the Arts and Culture Commission support this program.
For a mural.
For the mural.
The beautification of
and-
Bobby
Yeah.
Shade's buildings.
Beautification mural in conjunction. Do we mention in conjunction with Dana Point Coastal Arts?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just like-
Know that we
Just
support
put it
that.
on
Know that
record.
we support that, and those initial drawings are beautiful, especially the one on the bottom.
Do we have a
I've seen the
second?
rest of them.
I can't wait to.
There's a lot of history in the village that most people are not aware of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
once in a
Altar,
while.
I mean, we
Yeah.
had a lot of,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff has come out of the village, that part.
I think it's nice just to see something starting
She
to
did
happen.
that.
That's
Maria
the
seconded.
part.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
did you get that, Diane?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, she got it.
What I can do is just leave this when we leave. You can just, if you want to look at it, you can kind of pass around.
Okay.
Just so you get the other ideas, see why it ties into it.
So I have a motion made by Commissioner Small, seconded by Commissioner Banks. Commissioner Schnell,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jenkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Chair Robs,
Yes.
and Commissioner Small.
Yes.
So that by consensus, this motion passes 5-0.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to
Awesome.
both of you.
To the new regime.
To the
Yeah. Need a scepter or something.
See the new.
So who do we contact when we want to go walk?
Belinda's always a great person.
Belinda's great.
Belinda's the one.
She's the organized person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
And
asking
the-
artists to organize anything.
The committee meets about once a month, so they're hands on. So I'll leave my card here.
Oh,
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, and have a nice evening. And
Thank
happy New
you.
Year's to all of you. May it be a
Yeah.
blessed year for all of us.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Bye-bye now.
So moving on to item 7, Arts Orange County membership, the discussion, well, Richard Stein is here, who had excellent. I don't know how much discussion we need on that. We're just gonna call for a motion to entertain the idea of the city joining. Isn't that what this is all about?
Can we just do that?
You can discuss.
Yeah.
Ask if there's any discussion.
I just wanted to, my initial part was for the fact that I had seen something, I get their newsletter and they had a big thing on art in public places, and I went, well, wait a minute, where's Dana Point's art in public places on their list? So right away I emailed Rick going, where's Dana Point? We aren't on there. Well,
You said you
there-
weren't a member.
no, he said it's okay. We do not have to be a member, but we're on a list to get it done. So eventually at some point, where is my list here? There's about 25 that they put on there.
You talking about cities?
No,
Public art.
public art.
right.
So that was my agenda. Plus, I was thinking, you know, like when we have new pieces that are up in Waterman's Plaza, we needed a little article in their newsletter about it. So I figured if we became a member and get really involved with what they're doing and all the other cities are doing, that it made loads of sense.
How much does membership cost?
$300 a year.
Can we afford it?
I know I brought it. And so there was that, and there is a part on their Spark OC website where they list events that are going on in different cities. Rick has said that again, is as a member, we can put our events onto this website. So Dana Point Art Fest, Dana Point Symphony, all of our events. So if somebody comes to Orange County and goes, Arts in Orange County, they aren't gonna just get Sigerstrom or Pacific Symphony. They are going to get our events that are going on in Dana Point. So that was my other thought that I thought would make sense.
So my question is, we're going to ask the city for membership, correct? How does
If you
this-
guys decide that you want to become members, I can sign us up tomorrow.
Okay.
It's not a
Yeah,
big
I
deal.
didn't think we had to go
So
to
I make a
council for
motion.
that.
Do we need a motion?
Yes,
Become
you-
a member?
you need a
Okay,
motion.
So I'll make a motion. I move that we become a member of the
Arts
of Orange County.
And I second it.
Okay.
Shorthand.
Commissioner Chanel,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jenkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Chair Rob,
Yes.
Commissioner Small.
Yes.
So by consensus, this motion passes 5-0 to become a member of OC Arts.
Great idea.
Or to see, but yes.
Okay, great. So moving on to Art and Culture Commissioner reports. So do we go in any order? Or can we just
She
have
does.
some
Keep going.
stuff?
Don't you call her? Oh.
No. Maybe I should go first.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Go for it.
You
Okay.
can
Okay.
go
Listen.
for it.
You
All
go.
right. I would really like to thank all of you for supporting me in this. I was supposed to do this on my last term and never got around to it, so it's a real honor for me. I hope I can fulfill Anthony's shoes.
They might be bigger than yours.
And I want to welcome Kelly. That is just wonderful.
Kelly.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, that's right. You guys weren't here.
No,
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, no, you're gonna be
You're on it.
absolutely, I just know it, I feel it in my bones, you're gonna be wonderful. Well, I think my goal is to really to try to start, now that we have so much development in the city, really start to try and get things moving. And you seem like you really are on that same plane. You know, we've been, I don't know, I'm trying to think of how many things we've really brought to the council in the last 6 years, 8 years. Maybe that could be a good thing too, because it means spending money, but at any rate, I look forward to it, and that's about all I have to say. I'm just overwhelmed at your support with me, so that's great. Anyone else like to comment on anything?
I just wanted to go back to what was on the agenda before and to give you an update on it. And it was the Wales Festival
Yes,
Parade.
thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
And I talked to Andrea Swain, and it's going to be sometime in January, but she's waiting for the high school to get back to her on what dates can be. And as soon as she gives us the dates, then we have to get the artists to go on the boat. So, but we have a bigger plethora of artists that could work.
Was it February last year when they went out? Yeah, it had to be.
Oh, it was February 11th, because I had my surgery that day.
Yeah.
And she kept saying, "Aren't you going to go on the boat?" And I kept saying, "I don't think so. I don't think my surgeon would."
Thank you.
So as soon as that comes through, I'll let you know so you can let everybody else know, okay?
Thank you.
And they want artists again.
But yes, but they had 2 boats last year, and the year before they only had 1 boat. So we can't get any artists tentatively. And then we only had 1 artist the year before, and last year she wanted 2 artists. So I don't think we can tentatively call any artist and say, "Oh, sometime in January or February we might want you." No, I think we have to wait. It would be perfect if we knew the dates.
Okay, any other comments?
I'm happy to see everything moving along because I was really frustrated last year.
Did you have a commissioner report?
Just to say that the Dana Point Symphony, their next concert will be February 7th, Friday at 7:30. It's a Beethoven celebration. So it's the Friday right before Valentine's. And
I have to add to that as of today. John Hicks with Harbor Girl is going to give us 20% again. We're going to do 4 o'clock to 6:30 reservations, dinner, and they, our executive director knows this, but I'm just telling you, when they arrive, they need to make the staff aware that they're with the Dana Point Symphony. That way that money, and that includes alcohol. He puts the alcohol on that. I know.
Ooh.
He does the total bill, 20%.
Such a good family.
Yeah,
They are
good family,
wonderful.
so, yeah, that's coming up.
All right.
Good. That's it.
Do you have a comment?
I do. I just like to give my report about my activities or peripheral activities of arts in the community as well. And you know, since our last meeting, I actually got to go visit my son, Kyle, who was studying abroad in Florence, Italy, and studying art history as well as environmental sustainability. And so to get to go to to Renaissance and our tour guide was Kyle, and it was interesting to see how much.
So you went to Florence?
He'd learned. We went to Florence. Yeah, it was sort of under my wife turned 50, and so it was sort of that's what she wanted. So it was a pleasure to get to see him. In December, I got to participate. Both personally in the Merry Monarch tree lighting. We did that last year as well. And so to get to participate in this tree lighting, which benefited exclusively the Capistrano Unified School District music programs. And so I played Christmas carols to sort of kick off the festivities, as well as Music Preserves Foundation had a presence there and an information booth, if you will. Also in December, Music Preserves Foundation was recognized by the Capistrano Unified School District for our programs in the schools, supplementing 5th grade U.S. history with American music history, and taking music students, primarily juniors and seniors in high school, backstage at all of the major festivals to meet professional musicians and explore that notion of a career in professional music. So that was wonderful to be able to pilot our programs and get recognized, for doing that. Music Preserves is having our 1-year anniversary party in January 23rd, and that will be at the Marine Room in Laguna Beach, and we'll be having we have some friends that actually it's really quite a blessing. They will be out here for the Grammy Awards, as well as for the NAMM show, and in between that, it's a gentleman in his band, a gentleman by the name of James Martin, and others in his band, that have been a part of Preservation Hall band, etc. And so they'll be the entertainment for this party, and I'll be happy to provide any additional information if anyone's interested in attending. And I've extended that invitation to council and some of the members of staff as well. So thank you very much for the opportunity and for the inspiration that you all have given me, especially with your involvement in the symphony and the other events in our town. So.
Well, thank you very much for your chairmanship to the commission.
Thank you.
And with that, I thought, sorry.
No, you just go around and call the names.
I'm sorry?
The way Anthony had done it was that you just go around and call the names. Do you have a report?
Yeah, but we didn't do it, so did I miss somebody, or did?
I'm good. I kind of.
Oh, I thought you gave one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm fine.
Okay. That's it?
Gavel is up.
Okay, the adjournment will be the next regular meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission.
It's gonna
will
be
held now on March 25th.
March 25th.
2020. Remember, everybody
Here.
signed full signature on everything. It's 2020. We haven't heard it already on everything you do. Checks at 6 p.m. in the Public Works Conference Room.
Cool.
So I adjourn this meeting at
7:17.
7:17.
Oh, I was looking for that. 7:17. Adjourned. There, I was looking
If
for
you're the
that.
hot seat, you can see it.
Right.
So I'll be in contact with you.